It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Hey, thanks for checking out the Sean Widmer Podcast. I appreciate you being here. I say it every time, but I mean it every time. So a lot of times I have a little document in front of me you can't see because you don't have my eyes. If you were in my eyes, do you wish you had my eyes? If you were inside of my eyes, you would see that on one of my monitors here, I've got the recording of the podcast so that I know it's working, because when you've worked in radio for 20 years and you have to record a lot of things, you learn quickly that you better have eyes on the recording, because the second you minimize that window, or the second you look away or cover that window up with something else, the recording magically stops and you lose everything. Okay? So I've got that on one side, and on the other monitor I have any kind of notes that I took throughout the week on things I'd want to talk about with the podcast. And so I start the podcast off, or at least I try to. By the way, thank you for checking out your favorite 15-minute podcast. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. I never miss a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're 15 minutes on the dot. So if you're new to this, that's what you're getting. 15 minutes, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. You're going to get that same today. And it's Wednesday, I believe, when this is coming out. So look at that. Worked out. I look on this other screen as I wipe my nose a million times for those of you who watch on video. I look at the other screen and it's got any notes I've taken from the week. But I've also now, because of where we're at, I got sports on another monitor, even more to the right, because sports. I got to type that in here to get into sports. To kick the podcast off, though, your favorite 15-minute podcast, the only and the original 15-minute podcast, I like to tell you what's coming up so you know, so that you can bail now. No, I like to tell you what's coming up in case, you hear me start to babble on about what the monitors are that I'm looking at, and you're like, this isn't what I want, but you heard me before I started talking about that mention something that piqued your interest, right? So today, I do need to talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I need to talk about concerts, music, events, my relationship with them, and I think a little bit of sports. But my main thing, and the reason I'm bringing this up, I'm feeling a little wily tonight. I've ridden the emotional roller coaster this evening with the kiddos. After the kiddos went to bed, the World Series game started. And so I wanted to check out the World Series game because I was, buckled up and ready for another 18,000 inning baseball game that ended at 2-something a.m. here on the East Coast. Insanity. So I had the game on. I was like, I'm going to sink in and watch the game. Maybe I'll try to record the podcast early on Wednesday morning. And then I was like, I won't record it early Wednesday morning. I'm going to be sleeping because this baseball game could go till 3. So finally, I just back and forth. I doom scrolled, which is something I need to stop doing. Doom scrolled for a while. And then finally, I'm like, okay, it's just after 10 o'clock. I need to go down and record the podcast. I want to record the podcast because I love doing it. And so I got everything together and I'm down here now. And I say all that to say, I don't really know where the podcast is going tonight. I don't know. I do know a couple things. Number one, I owe my kids an apology. We're going to talk about my kids a little bit here to kick off the podcast, but I owe them an apology because I use them a lot as false information. False information. I had someone that I work with. Man, my nose. I got downstairs and it started running. Am I sick? No. But anyways, it's just cold down here in the basement. Woo, in the dungeon. Where were we? We're here in the dungeon with a runny nose. My kids. I had someone at work the other day. They looked at me and they said, "How are you super tired?" They brought up, "Are you tired?" And anytime someone says that to you, it's never a good thing. Jay from the Jay and Kevin show, Formerly, so that show was the Jay and Kevin show forever. And then there was this moment in time where it was Jay, Kevin, and Slim. And then I quit the show, and they're like, that was the dumbest thing. It's just the Jay and Kevin show now. They've just cut my name. They could have kept my name on the show, even without me there. I mean, they still use my voice for a lot of the opens and stuff. At least, the least you could have done is just kept my name. How confusing would that be? Keep my name on the show. You move to Spokane, you find this great morning show, because it's a great morning show. Everyone should listen to it. You listen, and it's like Jay and Kevin and Slim in the morning, and you hear that, and you're like, what is this? What is this Slim they talk about? Oh, the olden days. Oh, there's a base hit by the Dodgers. Anyhow, Jay Bird used to always hear, he always used to joke. People would give him grief about the bags under his eyes. Well, I get it now. I got it from someone this week at work. They're like, man, how tired are you? I'm like, not really tired. Why? You have got bags under your eyes, man. You need to sleep. You need to get more sleep. You've got bags under your eyes. Thanks, bud. Pretty much when someone says that to you, they're just calling you ugly. That's all there is to it. So, I'm getting called ugly. Last week, I got in a conversation at a school thing, and I do not believe it was meant maliciously, but the conversation led to me getting asked if I was, someone said they wished they had waited longer to have kids, and I was around, and I didn't know the people, and they were like, what's it like, is it better having kids older? I was like, what's happened? So got called older, and then I got called for the bags under my eyes. And I always blame my kids, right? For the bags under my eyes. I'm like, well, my kids, I never sleep. But that's such a bunch of crap. My wife had an unbelievable, that needs to stop. That's 14,000 years old. My wife had this great strategy with the kids when they emerged. That's a bad thing to say. That's a bad way to put that. When they showed up to their bedrooms, where right off the bat, my wife had a very rigid and strict sleep policy that was a pain in the butt to do while it was happening when they were little. We missed out on family events. We missed out on friend events because we were really sticking to this tight schedule on them sleeping. My kids sleep so well. My baby, Woods, I think it's up to 3 or maybe 4 times in his life, a year and a half, he has woken up during the night. The whole time. Where I'm from infancy, okay? So I can't argue. It works. It works for our kids. So I'm glad we missed out on some of these events. My kids sleep like crazy. They go to bed between 7 and 8, and they sleep until 6:30, 7:30, okay? That's a good amount of time. And I'm sitting here blaming them. Bags under my eyes. It's because my kids. It's not them. It's me. I have every chance to go to bed 8:30, 9 o'clock. But I'm looking over here at this monitor I'm holding up. You see, I've got the baseball game on right now. Why it's still on, I don't know. I think it's because I still have, 16 minutes until the Warriors-Clippers game starts. Sports are the problem. And it's a blessing and a curse out here in the East. Because now that the NBA is back, I've got stuff on. I got to watch VJ Edgecombe earlier tonight. Who's better right now? VJ Edgecombe or Wemby? Who's the best young player in basketball? VJ Edgecombe has played 3 games in the NBA, 4 games in the NBA, and is just dynamite. He's dynamite. His numbers tonight, let's see what his numbers were tonight. He only had 14 points tonight, didn't shoot the ball super well, but had 6 boards, 4 assists. I mean, this dude has played in 4 basketball games. He's never lost. VJ Edgecombe is on pace to win every game he's ever played. He's on pace to go, what would it be, a perfect 82 plus, is it first round 3, 82, 85 plus, is it 8? Am I getting these numbers wrong? 82 plus, 90-some games in a row he's going to win this season and win the NBA title. That's crazy. Great player. But I watch sports way too late. And I've got all these NBA games on. The Blazers didn't start last night till 10:30. And I'm sitting there and I'm holding my eyes open. I've got the toothpicks, in them, holding them up like tent posts, just burning the midnight oil, bloodshot eyes, watching these NBA games in dark corners of my house, trying to hide. And then I get to work and someone's like, "You ugly, man. Why are your eyes so baggy?" And I say, "My kids, my freaking kids. This is what happens when you have 3 kids." They were sawing logs at 7:30. So anyways, kids, huh? We had a fun night tonight. I did something fun tonight. My wife's out of town, and so it's just me and the kiddos tonight. And I knew this going in. And I if you for the Patreon members over at Patreon, Sean Widmer podcast on Patreon, I put a video up there every day, just a short 2 to 6 minute video, 3 to 6 minute video. And I talk a lot about just little things. Some things make it to the podcast, a lot of things don't. But one of the things I was talking about on today's little video that trickles into here, because now it's happened. I've been with my kids a lot lately. A lot of time with the kids. And so I'm just kind of hitting this spot where I'm ready for some time away from the kids. And there is a difference as a parent, just for the record. There's difference of having time away from the kids when they're awake than when they're asleep. Because a lot of the things I do are in the shadiness of the night. No, a lot of things I do are after the kids are in bed. Hang out with my buddy Mike, basketball, a lot of things I do. Because sports start late, so get together and watch a game. It's like, hey, you want to get together and watch a game? Yeah, I'll see you at 12:30 a.m. for tip-off. And so a lot of things I do are when the kids are asleep. So at that point, yeah, I'm away from the kids. Maybe I'll get out of the house, but I'm away from the kids. There is such a difference in being out of the house doing something when the kids are awake, as opposed to you've just spent the entire day waking them up, getting them off to school, getting them home from school, getting them through dinner, surviving bath time, surviving bedtime. Then you're exhausted and you go hang out with friends and you're like, "These dang kids made me so tired. Now let's stay up till 2 a.m. This is are we going to go over 15 minutes? That'd be the first time in a while we go over 15 minutes today. Rambling, sorry. So I'm feeling this. I'm just like, I wake up this morning, get Huck to school, head to work, and I'm like, man, I am living for bedtime tonight. After bedtime, I'm excited. There's baseball games on. I've got them right next to me. I'm holding them up to the camera. Some new Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms books came out today. I used my birthday money to get them. Look at these buttes. Look at these buttes right here, right? I'm so excited. I'm like, I'm going to read these and I'm going to relax and watch some sports, and it's going to be a great night. And the second the kids go to bed, I'm going to dive in. And then I start thinking, I'm like, it would be fun. Or, it'd be fun. What if instead these little gremlins who wear at you, talk, hey dad, 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 did you see this car? Yeah, dude, you just asked me that 4 seconds ago. Hey dad, did you see it now? Yeah, dude, I need to go put my head into the toilet and flush it, get myself a swirly to wash that question out of my ears. And so I know I'm going to get worn out, and I'm like, but you know what I'm going to do? Instead, what I'm going to do, let's do a movie night tonight. And so I'm like, you know what we'll do? I'm going to make popcorn. I'm going to make root beer floats, and we'll stay up late. So instead of, I sit here and whine about, I'm always with these kids are wearing me out. And instead, the real heart, again, my kids take all this, they didn't earn this. The real thing is, I'm not really sick of them. I'm just old and grumpy. And in reality, I'm craving hanging out with them. So tonight, we threw on the movie Sing, got Woods in bed, the baby in bed, and then the 2 big kids, we sat down on the couch, cuddled up. I made a big bowl of popcorn, and I made them both root beer floats because I knew they'd never had them before. And I was like, let's do that. Let's do root beer floats and a movie. Now, mind you, I'm not a good learner. This is coming 2 days after my son Huck went went up to his room during the day. He told me, we're playing in the basement. He's like, Dad, I got to go upstairs. I got to get some more cars for this Hot Wheels track we made. I go, okay. So I'm down in the basement with Woods and Olivia, and we're hanging out. And Huck's been gone a minute. I'm like, he has, where did he go? And I go upstairs, and he has pulled out his candy bag, his trick-or-treat bag, and Lord knows how much candy he's eaten, because it's been 15, 20 minutes. So this man has got into his candy bag, and he's eaten an entire pound, 2 pounds of candy, and he's just looking at me. And I walk in, he's like, Dad, don't come in my room. You can't come in my room. I'm like, dude. And of course, later that night, what happens? He throws up all over his bed because he had too much sweets. And it was traumatic, and it was a mess. My wife cleaned it up. I walked in. My wife knows my cleaning skills. I walked in the room. We both walked in. It was midnight. And we walked in, and I froze looking down at his bed at all this throw up. And my wife said, just get out of here. You're in the way. And I went and I moped back over to bed and heard her, getting rid of throw up. It was gross. Anyways, I didn't learn my lesson. So tonight I'm like, you know what? Instead of feeding Huck clean stuff, here's a root beer float. They loved them. If you haven't had a root beer float in a while, a couple facts on it. They're really good. A root beer float is really good. I know you can do, orange Fanta. I mean, you can do anything drink, but orange Fanta is a popular one. Some people like a Coke float. I know you can do all these, and you're going to say, well, orange float's the best. Orange float's the best. Pineapple jarrito and ice cream is the best. They're really good. You're absolutely right. Root beer float is the king of the floats, period. You can like other ones, but root beer float is the king. So not only that, root beer is severely underrated. Root beer is really freaking good. And I've been trying to get away from soda. There was a long time in my life where a good old soda pop was what I loved the most. And I've been trying to stray away from it. So I haven't had soda pop in a while outside of Diet Cokes. I'll get some Diet Cokes here and there. But I have been digging this A&W root beer. It's so good. So yeah, we did movie night with the popcorn and the root beer floats. My daughter, the root beer float hit her lip, and before she even took a sip of the root beer float, she asked me, she goes, Dad, can I have another one? This thing is full to the brim. Her cup is full to the brim, but it hit her lips and she loved it so much instantaneously that she, out of nowhere, asked for a second one before she even knew anything. There was so much left. It was such a cute thing. It's the most how a kid's brain works ever. Dad, can I have another one? I'm like, you got to finish that one first. And I can look at her eyes. She's like, I'll finish it right now. Fine. I'm like, well, hold on. You can't chug it. Don't act like your mom. Jeez Louise. Don't act like college Anna. You can just enjoy that. Be a lady for a second and enjoy your drink. Be Southern. Be a hospitable Southern person and enjoy your drink. And so she did. She slowed down. I was like, I'll get you more, but just enjoy that. Meanwhile, I look over at Huck. He takes a sip of his, and he looks up at me. And I'm like, we never know with him. And he's like, Dad, boy, that is sour. I go, okay. Weird way to describe a root beer float, ice cream and root beer together. He goes, boy, Dad, that is sour. Takes another little sip, looks at me. He's thinking about it. That is sour, Dad. And I love it. And I'm like, okay. So I have these little juice glasses that I put him in. Olivia downs hers. She asks for a second one, as it hits her lips. She downs hers. She's loving it. She's staring at Huck's like a vulture waiting. If he leaves the couch for a second, she's going to pounce on it and chug a second one. And he's loving it. So he's guarding it. He knows his sister is a vulture. So he's got two hands on the cup and he's kind of holding it tight like he's a running back. And by the end of the night, he had drank half of the cup. Half of it. I couldn't believe it. He was loving it. He wouldn't let anyone touch it. He gripped it, white-knuckled it to death, drank half of it. But I think he liked it. So root beer floats, huge hit. That has been 20 minutes. We're almost getting to 15 minutes, and I didn't even get to the things I wanted to talk about. I told you this is going to be a willy-nilly. We're going to keep going tonight. We're going to keep going tonight. The Warriors game hasn't even tipped off. I still got 4 minutes. Clippers, Warriors. I'm excited to watch it. If you're not on Fliff, the free gambling app, get on it. I've got Fliff dollars on the Warriors tonight. Gambling site, free for those of you who degenerates who want to get into gambling, but know if you use real money, you're going to lose your family and your life. Get on Fliff. They give you $1 every day. If you can turn it into over $50, they pay you. They pay you that money. It's really cool. So get on there. I'm over $6 right now. Got some big bucks riding on this Warriors game. All right, there's my shout out. Unofficially brought to you by Fliff, the podcast. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This video game is one that I've just started playing, and I'd heard a lot about it, and a guy at my work, Blake, really likes it. Spokane Dan, Donut Dan, Jerky Dan, he really liked it. Spokane Ian loved it, and I'm trying to remember there's some other guys who played it who really liked it. And so I'd heard a lot of things about this game, and my brother, you ever heard of him? My brother, Travis, who I should have led off with. And so I finally get started on this game, finally get to playing it. There are a lot of games over the course of my life I've played that I was like, I wish I could play that game again. Grand Theft Auto, all the Grand Theft Autos. Grand Theft Auto 3, well, mainly these ones. Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. These are 3 games that I played so quickly because I was so excited about them. I just devoured them. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, I think I just played in one sitting. Just sat down and played 20 hours of this game, 20 to 30 hours of this game. Same with San Andreas. There was a point with San Andreas, I told my girlfriend at the time, I would hang out with her. She lived in a house on Gonzaga's campus, just young college kids. And she lived in a house on Gonzaga's campus. And she was like, come over, we'll watch a movie. And I went over and San Andreas had just come out the day before. I took my PS2 over and told her, how about we watch this? And I played, like, great boyfriend stuff. I played San Andreas and she just sat there. Who knows? Well, no, it's before texting. So probably sent mail. How did you get a hold? How did we do that back in the day? How did you get a hold of people and tell them help before you could text a lot? Anyhow, I wish those are games. Those are some games. Skyrim is a game that I wish I could go through and play again for the first time and really appreciate it. And now as an old man, I've realized that I've said that to a lot of games where it's like, dang it, I wish I could go back and play that again for the first time and really enjoy it and not just rush through it because I'm excited. And with this Clair Obscur game, I'm doing that. And I'm just taking my time, mainly because I don't have a ton of time just to sit for 3-hour chunks. But when I can sit down, I'm not rushing through. I'm just taking my time. I'm taking it all in. That doesn't mean I'm doing every single side quest, side mission. I'm literally just paying attention to the game while it's happening. Paying attention to the little cutscenes. When I'm in an environment, I'm looking around because it's beautiful environment. So the Dodgers going to try to do a bottom of the 9th rally right here. Wouldn't that be crazy? They're down 5 runs. Guys on second and third with no outs. Runners on. And that was the 6th hitter. Can they get around to Shohei Ohtani? Can Shohei Ohtani get up this inning? Could it be that he knocks in the game-winning run for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who lead the series 2-1? We'll find out here on the podcast. Very delayed. You could probably just go to sports.yahoo.com by this point and look back to October 28th and find out the score of this game. Anyways, Clair Obscur, it's awesome. It's a great game. It's super cool. It's really confusing, right? The story is very confusing. The world you're in looks like it exploded. They haven't really explained it yet, but it looks like the world exploded and then everything froze. So all these buildings exploded, and then as the building's like blowing up in half, pieces everywhere, everything froze, and that's where you're interacting. It's really cool, really trippy. And I don't want to say anything beyond that. The first area you go to is super unique. Awesome game. Awesome game. Has made me fall in love with video games. Again, not that I was out of love with them, but we were just like hanging out, right? Video games and I weren't cuddling at the end of the day. Video games and I were both reading our own books in the same bed, but we were both reading our own books on our side of the bed. That's where video games and I were at. Occasionally our feet would touch, but that was as close as it was. Well, now, I mean, it's full on. It's full on, man. We're back. Video games and I are back thanks to Clair Obscur Expedition 33. What else did I want to talk about? Let's talk about concerts. Let's just burn it all. Let's not save anything for Friday. Let's just burn through it all. This is your favorite 15-minute podcast. We're still good, right? 15 minutes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We don't miss a day. They're all right on 15 minutes on the dot, and I appreciate everyone listening to them. I burnt out on concerts with my radio job. Burnt out on concerts. I like concerts. I enjoyed concerts as a younger person, pre-radio. I really did. I enjoyed them. And then I just went to so many of them, and I went to so many concerts that I didn't want to go to, and they were for work. Are they going to get a base hit? No. Is that going to score a run? Yes. All right, so 4 to go. 1 down, 4 to go. 1 out. Bottom of the ninth, 6-2 Blue Jays. All right, so I just got burnt out on them, and I didn't want to go to them anymore. And I think also getting older, I just kind of had, I don't know. I don't know what it is. When I get to them, I kind of like them. For the most part, I just associate them with having to go to a lot of concerts I didn't want to go to for work. Now, that said, I hold a soft spot in my heart for the bands I love. So, if Weezer's around, I want to see them. Blink-182, Switchfoot, Relient K. Like, these are bands I like, and I'd see them live. There's a few, but that's like really all of them. And then there's a spattering of names I'd like to see. So there's a big music festival here in Lexington, Kentucky, and it's been, let me see if I can look up the lineup. Railbird Festival. We've been here for 2 of them. 2025 lineup. Let's see what that one was, and then let's look up Railbird Festival 2024, because this is like a really big festival in town, and I have been like, no, I have no interest in going to it. In 2024, they had Noah Kahan, Turnpike Troubadours were the lead one of the nights, and then the next night, it was Chris Stapleton and Hozier, okay? And there's a lot of other people. Red Stray Clays were there, El King, Kip Moore, Winona. So that was 2024. I had no interest. I saw the lineup. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. Last year, it was Lainey Wilson and Jelly Roll were the headliners, along with Bailey Zimmerman, Shabuzi, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays. I think I said their name wrong the first time. No, doesn't do it for me. It's over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. I just have no interest. So the lineup got dropped this year, and I was like, okay, who do I not want to see this year? Then I pulled up the old Railbird calendar or schedule or announcement, whatever it is, the poster. The Lumineers are coming to Railbird, and I freaking love the Lumineers. I saw their name pop up, and I thought, oh my goodness, I want to go to a festival again. I used to love it. There was a couple festivals back in Washington I loved. I liked Watershed. Okay, it was a little too rowdy for me because I'm a weak boy, and there was like real cowboy men there who at nighttime would stroll around looking for a fight, and that wasn't good for me because I'm a wimp. But then there was Sasquatch Festival in Washington, which was kind of it was like the young hippie. It was kind of hippie indie music, and it was great. And I loved Sasquatch. Loved it. So Railbird, I had not wanted to go to a festival. I didn't think I ever wanted to go to a festival. Just the Lumineers by themselves that made me want to go to this. The Wallflowers are going to be there, who I really like. That's on Saturday. And then I got to give him credit. Since leaving country radio, I have not listened to really any country music. I don't hate it like I used to once upon a time. I just don't seek it out. I like other music more, and I like podcasts more. My time's limited. But Tyler Childers is someone that my wife has shown to me who I've fallen in love with. And I think it's like Tyler Childers and Chris Stapleton kind of started this whole Railbird Festival thing. So they kind of go back and forth coming through it. But I would love to see Tyler Childers. They also have that night, Zach Top is going to be that night, who is a Washington guy. So I'm excited about that. And Ella Langley is there. That night, Sunday night, the music of Tyler Childers. I guess the essence of Zach Top. He's kind of a thing right now, right? It's just that, and by beginning of next summer, he's going to be even bigger. So it's kind of like that essence, that aura of him. And then, the legs of Ella Langley. I mean, if we're just going to call spades spades, we're going to call spades spades. She's a babe-a-rooney. But that's quite the lineup. I'm trying to see who else is on these shows. If I recognize anyone else, I don't. But just the Lumineers by themselves have made me want to go to this. Camp, though, is that night also. So is Mount Joy. I don't know if I know Mount Joy. I know Camp. Do I know a Mount Joy song? Let's see here. This is. I'm probably. Uh-oh. Did he hit a bomb? No. Game over. Game over, man. Game over. Toronto ties the series 2-2. That means the series is going to go back to Toronto. If the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, they've got to do it on the road. All right, let's see what Mount Joy, your favorite 15-minute podcast, just past 15 minutes. Mount Joy's biggest song is this. 381 million listens on Spotify. Do I recognize it? Let's see. Oh, no, hang on. I got my audio settings all out of whack. Was this going to ruin the, is this going to ruin the recording? We're going to find out. Let's see. Okay, maybe this will work. I hope it works. Come on. Do we know this song? Let's see. Your silver lining, wearing clothes. I don't think I know that song. Do I know this song, Dirty Love? All mine underneath. I don't know that. I don't know that I know them, but that's the sound, that kind of music I love. Whatever that genre is, I really love a lot. Lumineers, I don't need to look up their music because I love it. Here's what's the biggest camp song? Is it this? Let's see. Sipping whiskey by the river, living out of sight. I don't know if it's that. Is it this? All the Debts I Owe? Honey, get the. There's a camp song that I really like, and I'll never find it. Where your head died. Enough of that. Anyways, I want to go to Railbird. What happened? This one got away from us, guys and gals. This one got away from us. All right, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to try to read some of these books that I got. I'm going to watch some of the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to stay up way too late, and Huck's going to throw up a root beer float. We'll get to comments on Friday. Friday's episode might need to be a hard reset, okay, with your comments. And maybe more of a therapy session of like, hey, Sean, you were like 2 minutes over the 15 minutes on Wednesday. Here's some advice. Maybe, what about that? What if we did an advice podcast on Friday, but it was just you guys giving me advice? And I just read it, and it's like a therapy session. You can do those, leave those comments over at seanslife.com. Or on Spotify, if you're watching or listening on Spotify, you can leave a comment there. Or on YouTube.com, you can leave a comment on the YouTube video. We get to those. Try to get to them every episode, since we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But we'll read them all on Friday. Maybe Friday will be a comments only. So if there's only one comment or one piece of advice to make the podcast better, and there's only one, then I'm going to have to make that last for 15 minutes, which is going to be nuts. So you won't want to miss that. Thanks for listening. Love y'all.